Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait
answer?
a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Hey, this is Individual Perspective Podcast. Yes, I know we got to do the second part of the Constitution podcast. And also I got to do the first 30 days, the first quarter of Trump's, pretty much his, 100-day, first 100 days and everything. But, we got to get into this, man. Today was a wow. It's a wow one. It's I always say, like, having control of the narrative is everything, you know. And for me, I really, if you didn't vote for Trump, there's a major divide personally as a human being between me and you, because that means that the last 8 to 10 years, you didn't pay attention to anything. It's like it's over your head, or it's you think it's what you perceive, but you're not intelligent enough to know what's really going on. It's really hard, and when I'm hesitating to say things, it's not because I'm just such a bad oratorial person. Is finding a cordial way to say you're fucking stupid. And I gotta know why you're that stupid. Because maybe if this was in 2016, you know, Trump and his personality with the Miss America pageant and the gaudiness of the big gold Trump letters on his buildings and how braggadocious he is and everything, maybe that would be, you know, taste for it's an acquired taste, or like, let's say he may not be people's cup of tea, but from 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24, coming into the 2025 in his second presidency, and the Edward Snowden and all the like the shady stuff with the dossier and the FBI shadiness and the CIA and the Pentagon and all the like the powerful elite political and governmental structure in our country coming all at him, trying to murder him and everything like that, after really seeing it where they investigated and it's just what it was. It's not a perception. It all came true. All documents, all court filings, all rulings just tells you it is what it is. So if you can't comprehend because someone else is out there saying like it wasn't a ruling or a conclusion, and you don't know if it was a conclusion, that's your issue. That's your ignorance. So for me, it's okay for like 20-something-year-old kids and 18-year-olds or young adults and stuff like that, young teenagers, not to really know the big bird's eye view of the historical power and intellect of understanding what's going on in our country. If you're like 30, 40 years old, 50, 60, and you voted for Kamala or Biden, it's unforgivable. But I'm not gonna, that's another episode, I know. So what I'm gonna do is talk about how ignorant Zelenskyy is. And I've been saying this for the longest. You can go look at all my podcasts. You can go look at Individual Perspective Podcast on Rumble, Individual Perspective Podcast on YouTube. And you've been hearing me say how I feel about this Ukraine war and all this stuff. But really, the Ukrainian people, they're good people, and there's some good, great people. But effective today, if you're an Ukrainian and you're living in Ukraine and you didn't evacuate, you deserve what you get. Why? Because I have to say this to you guys. There's no right. Like you, I know this is a hard one. This is some hard stuff that I'm trying to see. I hesitate, not because I don't have it in my mind and my faculties. I'm not a good oratorial person and a good communicator in podcasting. I'm just trying to figure out what I should say and what I shouldn't say. But effective today, we could just let it fly, okay? Look, if you're Ukrainian and you're in Ukraine, you know what I'm saying? I want the best for you, and I think you should evacuate because your government sucks. You guys are so dumb that you allow this guy to cancel elections for the last 3 years. But we're in a war. Well, you're in a war, and our president could come and fly over there, land his plane, walk around the streets and walk around in the area and be in Ukraine, and Russia is not indiscriminately shooting and blowing up all of the governmental buildings that our presidents will be there. We got senators and congressmen doing tours, and we got the news media and all kind of everybody coming over there for the last 2 years. Not the full 3 years, but the last 2 years they've been over there having a good time, acting like it's not even a country in war. Why didn't Putin blow Ukraine the fuck up? Why didn't they just completely destroy Ukraine? It's effortless for them to do it. Why didn't they do it? Because they're Russian people. Ukrainians are Russians. They're Russian descendants. They're Russian ethnic. They are Russia, and Putin don't want to kill a bunch of Russians indiscriminately. So he's trying to be precisional with how he combats with Ukraine. And his error is he allowed thousands and hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers to die for nothing because he wanted to save Ukrainians in the long run. Putin he's trying not to kill other Russians because he feels that Ukrainians are Russians. So he just don't want to just be indiscriminately killing them like it's just another country. So he's trying to preserve as much as he can in the fighting, but he's getting a lot of his soldiers killed by doing that. That's why we even talking about this right now. That's why he didn't even destroy it before Trump came into office. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand. I'm like, why? Like, Russia can destroy Ukraine overnight. Why are they not doing it? American media is terrible. It's terrible. Fox News was supposed to be good on this, and man, they got so corrupt. And if you see how even they covering this conversation that they had in the Oval Office, they lost credibility every inch. And it's just, they got no credibility. And it's just, they so compromised, it ain't no joke. You get what I'm saying? So now I'm saying, like, okay, I couldn't understand why Putin didn't just completely destroy Ukrainian, and they make it seem like it's because of the weapons that we're sending over there. And yes, I do feel like we had some weapons that we sent over into Ukraine that kind of helped counteract a lot of the stuff that was coming from Russia. Yeah, I do, but I do think that Russia got weaponry that no matter what we got over there, it would obliterate it. So why did he not just do that? Because he's trying to preserve Ukraine. He's trying to preserve the people. He knows that Zelenskyy got citizens in Ukraine as like bulletproof vests. He's like, oh, let's not evacuate cities and towns and stuff. We're in a major war against the second lethal power of the world, Russia. Let's just let everybody cut their grass and go shopping and go to school and stuff like that. No, you in a war with one of the most powerful, the second powerful nation in the world, Russia. There's no more schools. There's nothing. Get those people to safety. But he used them as bulletproof vests. He's communicating. His soldiers communicating. His advocacy is communicating. Stay at home and cover us. Because if you stay in the city, it'll be hard for Putin to just indiscriminately attack certain places and wipe us all out if they're killing innocent people. Because we're shooting at them. But if they shoot over here, they're going to kill innocent people. So that's what's been going on. And it's just, I'm just summarizing it. But this is what our media, social media is not going to tell you. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure this episode going to get flagged. You get what I'm saying? But this is what's going on there. So now that Trump comes in and he's like, this is ridiculous. 1.5 million people died on both sides, Russia and Ukrainian sides, for nothing, because Russia still took over 20% of Ukrainian, and if you go an inch further, Russia saying, hey, if you guys decide to put your military, if you decide to put NATO into Ukraine, then we're gonna go full throttle and we're gonna go nuclear. Trump said, hey man, Trump want to be tough, but Trump know, like, this ain't his war. He coming in the middle of it. He's gonna take a stance against Russia and go to war for Ukraine. Fuck Ukraine. Ain't no way in hell we go do that. So I'm here to kind of give you guys a bird's eye view in a objective analysis. It sounds like I'm emotional, but this is all. I wouldn't say this if I wouldn't be right decades from now. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, the meeting that they had, you seen the little clip from it, and you're going to be seeing it on the news. I'm going to do a second part to this because I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the whole interview of it, but I wanted to cover the real, actual reporting of it in the big scheme of it all. So let's see. Let's go into the Oval Office and let's kind of, because he was out of control, and I think he talked to a lot of media and politicians, liberals and stuff before he came into his meeting, because he thought he had leverage, and he didn't. He walked in that room with no leverage. And I gotta say this to you guys again. It's just, this is why I tell you, Individual Perspective Podcast, the reason why I made this podcast is because your mama will lead you wrong, your daddy will lead you wrong, your siblings will lead you wrong, your community will lead you wrong, your favorite mentors will lead you wrong, your teachers will lead you wrong, the media will lead you wrong, culture will lead you wrong, society will lead you wrong. And you have to be able to take things that you see, take things that you hear, evaluate it, take it through the sporadic method, process it, evaluate it, vet it, and then take it in and say, this is the truth, so I will communicate it. I would ingest it. I would know it. I will hold it strong and advocate it. That's what an individual perspective is. And I'm telling you, we got a backwards last 40 to 50 years. I tell you, the last 40, 50 years did so much damage to American citizens in so many psychological and behavioral, Homo sapien evolutional ways. But that's another episode, okay? That's another conversation. But we're going to go into this conversation, and I'm going to break it down. And like I said, I might stop it because I need to go do some runs and everything like that, because, guys, you got to hit that PayPal and that Venmo, and you got to hit the like and the subscribe button, because that's going to help me be able to kind of just be aggressive on this like I want to. But right now I got to really take care of so much. I got things I got to take care of, and I got to be disciplined to it. You get what I'm saying? So I just wanted to come in here and kind of give you this. And I'm telling you, I'm going to go through everything. So if we break this up into a second part, I'll make sure I do a longer one where it will be the full thing. It's the real clips. The real meeting is about 50 something minutes. Okay. But I'm just going to take you guys through this just for a few minutes. And then we're going to come back on the second episode where I do the whole thing. Okay. So let's go in.
All reporters go back. Just camera photographers up front. If the reporters can't move to back.
Just keep in mind the center. Peter's going to be center.
Guess this is before they go into the Oval Office, so let's skip a little bit ahead. Okay. Everything is cordial. You know what I'm saying? They all polite with each other, and then Zelenskyy start his wild stuff. Okay.
People have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had.
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I.
You
a
have
lot
to
of
come,
things
Mr. President. You have to come and to look. No. We have very good cities. Yes, a lot of things have been destroyed, but mostly cities alive, and people work, and children go to school. Sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes closer to front line, children have to go to underground schools or online, but we live.
It's ridiculous.
Fighting, and Ukraine lives.
It is just like what I was saying. He's using them for like bulletproof vests for this country. Got them going to school under the city and working and going to school underground and online. Nah, that's not a life, dog. Because you ignorant.
And maybe it's Putin is sharing this information that he destroyed us. He lost 700,000 people. 700,000 soldiers he lost everything. Yes. So.
Mr. President, when did you last speak?
One more.
Mr. President, thank you.
Please, go ahead.
President, when did you last speak with President Putin, and what did he say that?
A couple of days ago.
And what did he tell you that gave you the assurance that he wanted peace?
Well, that's what I do. My whole life is deals. I know pretty good. and I've known him for a long time. I've dealt with him for a long time. He had to suffer through the Russia hoax. You know, Russia was a hoax. It was all Biden. It was nothing to do with him. So he had to suffer through that, and he was able to do that. I think that he wants to make a deal, and he'd like to see it end. That's all I do. That's what I do. My whole life, that's what I do, is make deals. And I'm in the middle of a mess, because this is a real mess. It's a very dangerous one. If this doesn't get solved now, it's not going to get solved for a long time. So I hope we're going to get it solved. In the back, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Prime Minister Starmer claimed repeatedly that his government believes in free speech and was not engaged in censorship. But his country's government arrests people for memes and thought crimes, and even more worrisome is pressuring American companies to censor Americans on its behalf. How can he be a reliable, trustworthy partner when he says things that are demonstrably false on such an important topic?
Well, we actually spoke to him about that yesterday, and we thought they took it very, very much too far. JD was very strong on it. So was I. So was Marco, and we've been speaking to him about it. Marco, would you like to say something about that?
We have concerns, obviously, with the conduct of those, particularly as it impacts Americans. And there's real concern that American speech, which is online, could fall into the hands of the British or any country's jurisdiction. And so this is a point the Vice President made in Munich, and I think it's a very compelling one that unites us with Europe as much as anything else is these shared values, and one of them being free speech. And so if Americans are threatened by it, we're going to need to take action in that regard.
It's actually a very important question.
We spoke about this in detail with the Prime Minister, the Foreign Secretary, and others at lunch yesterday, and I know that Secretary of Commerce Lutnick followed up in private meetings last night. This is really important. We believe Americans have the right to speak their mind, even if we in this room disagree with them. They have the right to speak their mind in the public square, which is often online these days. And we're going to defend that right as it pertains to American companies.
Yeah, and that's a whole other situation, because that's even with Andrew Tate kind of in the middle of a lot of that stuff too. And he came back to America in Florida yesterday, and this is a underbelly kind of situation. But I'm using Andrew Tate because his situation falls into the vicious attack on freedom of speech. But this is a whole nother conversation. The reason why I'm letting this play, because it's only about 15 minutes, but it'll go straight into the rumble tumble meeting, and then we're gonna get off of this. Okay.
And American citizens vigorously if we have to. I do think that under the president's leadership, we're going to find common ground with our friends in the UK on this question, but it remains to be seen. The principle that will guide us is we believe in free speech in this country, and we'll fight for it for American citizens.
Mr. President, on the deal, is there any other oil and gas component to the deal? Is it all critical?
A little bit. We'll see.
On LNG?
Muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America, and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way. So that's the way it goes. All right, one more question. Yeah, please.
Hey, I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
And Zelenskyy, he didn't like this little communication that Vance gave and stuff, but the Vice President Vance gave. But the truth of the matter is yeah, Biden was throwing all the weapons and all the kind of like, we're gonna go to war against Russia without American soldiers in, hiding and stealthily putting our military advisories over there, consultants over there, telling like I'm telling you, I know our military was involved in a lot of the attacks that Ukraine did. We may have not had physical soldiers over there doing that, but we had actual our military of intelligence telling them what to hit, telling Ukrainians what to hit and all the other stuff. I know that. So okay. Subjectively, that's my opinion. That's how I feel. That's just my perception of what I know about our country and our military weaponry and all that stuff and like that. And that's my perception that we had our hands in the actual physical attacking of Russia. So not only of our weaponry, but our intelligence was over there to communicating to Ukraine how to hit. That's the only way precision. But it's all for nothing, because whatever we were doing, whatever weapon we were doing, otherwise, before we put our soldiers and our planes and our pilots, if we're not going to do that, it still wasn't enough. Where, like Ukrainian says, 700,000. Zelenskyy said 700,000 Russians got killed. 700,000 Russians got killed, and they took 20% of their country. That's terrible because it was a waste. One of the things I hate about this war, and I hate about Americans, and I hate about American media, and I hate politicians and the Republican parties and the warmongering idiot ass stupid fools that's in our country, is because we want Russia to allow something that we wouldn't allow in Mexico or Canada. I'll make this quick for you guys because you're pretty fucking stupid. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. If China was to put military bases and was to help Mexico arm itself to attack us, we wouldn't like that shit. And we will be aggressive against the government of Mexico for trying to do something like that. We will be aggressive against China in Mexico and anybody that partner with them against that. Same thing if Russia was to put military weaponry inside of Canada to help Canada fight off us or put us in check. It's the same thing that we're doing to Ukraine. We're putting our military weaponry in Ukraine. We get putting a military advisory in Ukraine to fight and destroy Russia, along with the NATO government and the different Europe and the UK and all the different European governments, pretty much everybody that's part of NATO. They're trying to help and mask and assist with money and weaponry inside of Ukraine to fight Russia and say, oh, well, our people not over there, and we don't have people over there. That's Ukraine fighting you, but we're going to put everything we got to help them fight you. That's what they doing. That's why it's a sick ass war, and that Putin has every right to go into that country and say, no, y'all not gonna set up no military, y'all not gonna set up no arms and no power, military power in Ukraine, that at any given second y'all could take over Russia. So that's why Putin went in, because it was getting too close to the vets. And so something that we wouldn't allow Russia or China to do in Canada and Mexico, we're trying to do it in Ukraine. That's why Russia had every right to go and do what they did. Because we would have did it if somebody tried to pull that stuff in Mexico and Canada. That's how you figure out if this is a right thing or not. All this bleeding heart syndrome shit is crazy. And the Ukrainian people should be pissed that the government, that Zelenskyy did this to them. Should be pissed that American government under Biden and the NATO alliances are trying to do this to them and murder all those and got all those children and people and their men killed in Ukrainian soldiers and everything. That's what the Ukrainian people should be pissed about. But the media and propaganda tells you, oh, Putin's bad, Russia's bad. Nothing is in a vacuum, y'all.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So here
This is what started it.
Our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President.
Nope. And this is where he's going to keep talking, and they're not going to come in and cut him off because they're trying to be respectful, but he's a fucking idiot, and he's setting up propaganda right now. He's saying, oh, this stuff happened between President Obama, Biden, and Trump, and then Biden, then another Trump, and then no. This happened none do Trump, buddy. What happened in 2014 was President Obama's fault. Okay? Only way that Trump would have had to do something about it, he would have had to come in 2017, and then he would have had to go do something against Russia that was done 3 years prior before he got in there. Why would he do that? Oh, I'm going to go get Crimea back. Well, you going to go to war in Russia for Crimea? A Ukrainian part of Ukrainian that got taken over by Russia in 2014. Now that you're elected to be president in 2017, you're going to go and go get something, go start a war with our military soldiers and our blood and treasure for Ukraine because of something that happened 3 years ago that President Obama didn't take care of at that time, or Ukraine didn't take care of itself at that time, or the European government didn't want to spend no money to take care of Russia at that time. So whatever happened in 2014, whatever happened in 2008 got nothing to do with President Trump. But he's saying, well, when he came into office, he should have did that. He should have went to war with Trump. I mean, went to war with Putin to stop him from what he did in 2014. Oh, what was done on there, we gonna wash his hand with that. Even this situation, we're gonna help as much as we can in the negotiation of peace. But if this idiot does what he's about to do, then we wash our hands of it, or at least we could go at it either way. We could say we do or we don't, and watch it bleed out.
Biden, now the President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just
got nothing to do with 2014.
He killed people. You know what they call
so that's war.
2014.
2014 is
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but,
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022.
No, it don't go like that.
The same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire.
Because y'all tried to go put Ukraine into NATO, and that's a no-no. That's a no-no.
Killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about?
Well, look. Why is Ukraine not in NATO? They have forever to put them in NATO. Why didn't President Obama do it? Why didn't Bush do it? They don't want to hear about this shit. They didn't do it because you are Russia land. And they not going to fight Russia for Ukraine. Because truth, technically, it's a part of Russia. But everybody, even Russia, is kind of saying, okay, you guys your own country. We'll let you be your own country. Just don't put no NATO and Americans military support inside the country that could destroy us at any given time. You don't do that, we good. But what they do? That's why you got attacked. It's all logical.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr.
are not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems.
And that phrase, enforcing construct to the front lines, meaning that you're going around trying to get Europe and like London and Paris and Germany and everybody to sign on the dotted line that they're going to put boots on the ground in Ukraine to fight against Russia. So he's going around bullying different countries, and I guess he felt like it was time to bully America. Because American media telling them that they on his side, our Democrats are telling them on their side, some of our Republicans are telling them they on his side, and he thought that he had a lot of influence power to come in there and bully Trump to put in agreement that they would put military soldiers in Ukraine to fight Russia. He was wrong.
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the
Very
war,
arrogant.
everybody has problems.
Oh, a lot of questions. But let's start from the beginning. You don't know who you're talking to, do you?
Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're
Yep,
trying to
you
solve
fucked
the
up.
problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
you will
He said you're going to feel influence, meaning that his power to influence the world to go against Trump, to make him do what he don't want to do by sending military soldiers. He's telling them, you're going to feel my influence. I got influence of the world to stand behind me against Russia. That's what he's saying. And a lot of people say, well, his English was broken and maybe he didn't mean to say that. No, he knew what he was saying.
Now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014.
2014 is
Well, 2014.
Yeah. So
I was,
he killed,
I was not here.
Yeah, but,
That's exactly
but
right.
yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed him with gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken the ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems.
Forcing conscripts.
Thanking the president for
Have you
trying to
ever
bring
been-
an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
You don't trust him. He's so snaky. He's trying to get like a president like Trump and Vance to come to Ukraine, which that's a high probability that they'll get killed while they're out there. Go to no piece of shit place like Ukraine. And we're not sending our presidents down there. We can send Biden because he was a corpse anyway. They ain't gonna waste no bullet on him.
Once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and he
of the
happens
war.
to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position.
I
You don't
was
have
in
the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you
You're
think about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to
respect
you.
to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No.
Ridiculous.
You said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
what
of
are you speaking
America
about?
and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No.
Can
You've
I
done a
answer?
lot
No,
of talking. Your country is
absolutely,
in
you've
big
done
trouble.
enough talking.
No.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I,
You have a damn
we-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this
We
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment.
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if,
West
if
Indies?
you didn't
You
have our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
He's saying, "Oh, Putin said that he would destroy us, and this war would have been over in 3 days." It wasn't over because we gave you some of the most high tech, overwhelming power of America, fighting off missiles and drone attacks and demolishing tanks and stuff. They call them javelins or something like that. That's the only reason why you push Russia back. It's crazy. And I'm telling you, a lot of our military commanders was giving consultation to Ukrainian soldiers. I'm telling you.
In 2 weeks.
Okay. My opinion is that a lot of our military generals was giving consultation to Ukrainian soldiers. That's why they were so precisional, and that's why they was able to kill all those Russians, because we, intelligence-wise, in our physical military equipment, was helping Ukraine. That's how I look at it. My opinion, my individual perspective, okay? And they always talk about all the different people that's coming over to Ukraine. Ukraine, like I said, we have presidents like President Obama, President Biden went over there. Senators, congressmen went over there. They walked around and everything because they're useless and they're irrelevant, and nobody's in Russia don't want to destroy Ukrainians as much as they don't want to destroy and kill citizens of America. So it's stupid for him to offer for them to go and be like sitting ducks. Nobody is got more threats on them than pretty much Trump and his administration, and especially Trump and Vance. They gotta have smart decisions of where they go. But I only mention this because he's talking about it like, oh, the reason why we not destroy is because we're great soldiers. Yes, you do got some great soldiers. Ukrainian soldiers they're fierce, very tough people, but no matter how tough they are, they needed our equipment to actually fight off Russia. But the soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, was awesome, and it sucks that so many of them got killed because of the arrogance of their government.
Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this, I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times thank you to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
Absolutely.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
I can tell you
You're
again,
running low
I
on
know.
soldiers.
Don't, please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire. What they think.
That wasn't
it doesn't
with
matter
me.
for you what.
That
what
wasn't
this
with me.
nation- it
That was
wasn't
with
you.
a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person.
But this
That
is
was
your,
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it there, but just kind of give you guys a little understanding of what was going on in the conversation. Like I said, it's a 53-minute clip, so I want to play it from the beginning to the end when we come back. And but I just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts about this conversation and how disrespectful it was for the Ukrainian president. So, but I'll be back. I gotta go do some responsibilities. Okay. And I'll see you guys hopefully I can do it tonight, and we can kind of get the full vetting of it. But I think I kind of covered pretty much what you're going to see in the news pretty much majority of the time, and give my opinion of what's going on behind the nitty-gritty of it, because even Fox News is not going to give you the truth of the matter. So I'll check you guys out.